Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true.
Here's one that's a little unbelievable and impossible to prove. I was visiting Alexandria, Virginia, and taking a ghost tour all around the different historic sites downtown. This place was called the Carlisle House. It has an incredible history. It was owned by Scottish immigrants, very wealthy Scottish immigrants. They were not liked in the town because not only were they Scottish, they followed a lot of cultural practices from Scotland that were seen as, witchcraft. So in front of this house, it's nighttime. I'm listening to the tour guide, who is dressed in colonial garb and has a little lantern, by the way. We're probably about 100 feet away from the house, standing on the lawn, and then out of nowhere, I start having the unmistakable feeling of a cat rubbing up against my leg. And if you're a cat owner or you've been around cats a lot, you know what that feels like when a cat, rubs up against your calf and kind of does like a little figure 8 between your legs. So I think I'm crazy, and I assumed it was just the grass, my socks, the wind, and so I'm shifting and it's not going away. And I tried to just forget about it. As this man is talking, he mentioned that one of the many cultural practices they followed was to make sure that the house would be protected from witchcraft. And the way that they did that was by putting a dead cat in the wall. My heart stopped. My stomach sank to the ground. The next thing he said was, luckily, nothing like that was ever found. And I was like, phew, great. Total coincidence. This grass is really itchy. And then he says, until the 70s, when there was excavations going on in the house, and they found a mummified cat in the walls. He turns his body and he points behind him to the house, again, about 100 feet away from us, and says, if you're interested, I have the cat on display right there. It is super easy to gaslight yourself and tell yourself that you didn't see that, you didn't hear that, you didn't feel that. But this was the first time I have been touched by one. Immediately I tried to debunk it, and then I stopped and I thought about it and said, I know what it feels like when a cat comes over and says, I think you should pet me, and snuggles up against you. I'm sure that cat ghost is having a great time and gets lots of attention and love.